Righteous. Righteous. Hi, it's the vibes. It's your boy Dame. Good morning, my good people. Good morning, America. Good evening. Good night to China. Hi, it's the vibes, man. It's your boy Dame. Tapping in on another Freestyle Friday. Uh, like I said, good morning, grand rising, whatever speech in which you use. Hi, it's the vibes. Much love to y'all. We here to permeate love and light. We here to give that word out to the cosmos, and whoever receives it, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Once you get it, just know you getting blessed with that love. Today, I want to talk about power. You feel me? I want to spin the block because, well, I don't know if y'all were here for my Sunday breakfast, but we talked about value. So I kind of want to continue in the realm of worth and value and power amongst humans. So as I shared it to all my Facebook people, let me uh preface your mind on that power. What is power? What does it mean to have power? Are you powerful? You hear songs like I got the power. Is that fact or opinion? I got the power. You feel me? What is power? All right, I shared it to enough subjects for me to go in. Whoever comes in, I'll tap them back in. But now, power again. Define the terms. This is something we have to do in Dame's world. I always repeat because subjects have different interpretations of terms in this realm in which we exist. So we use words as humans subjectively, and then we come together to communicate with these words. And then you find us using power in different connotations, different denotations than others. We we permeate it to my uh, Facebook just a little bit more. But you find us using the same words with different denotations, and this makes for a lack of communication, a worse off communication. So, before every Freestyle Friday, I have to establish what is the meaning of what we're talking about. What is power? Now, the dictionary term, again, the dictionary was created by a man. A man wrote that shit. So we got to take the dictionary's term and we have to ask, okay, how valid, how viable is the dictionary's term? So the dictionary's term of power is the ability to do something. The ability to do something. Now, I'm in agreement that that displays power. When someone shows the ability to do something, they are displaying power. But we have to look at essential properties. What is the cause of that person's ability to do something? Why is that person able to do something? Because once we root the why as to how they're doing something, we can pinpoint their source of power. So now we're talking about looking in the quantum realm. You got the human body that or the human existence that consists of mind, body, soul. Mind, body, energy, soul, however you want to equate it. So you have this trinity within the human. So you have to ask yourself which part of that trinity is responsible for allowing you to do something, thus giving you power. Is it the mind? Is it the body? Or is it the soul? Or is it that energy? Now let's look at power independent of humans. When you cut on your lights, you're cutting on the power. The lights, the force, this is an electric charge. Now, all humans have this force, which consists of two electric charges, the protons and the electrons. So this electric charge is what gives you life. This is what allows you to do something. So again, the ability to do something shows power, but the actual power is in your electric charge. This is why when one passes away, their body no longer can do something. The reason why I can move my hand and move my mouth is because I have an electric charge within me that permits me to do so. I have the power to speak. I have the power to move my mouth. I have the power to move my hands. But once I remove that electric charge, heart attack or death, you feel me? Universe forbid, you feel me? We live on forever in Dame's world, but the universe forbidding my electric charge stopping, then I will always have the ability to do something. Now, why is that important in Dame's world? Because you got people today that might say, "Oh man, I ain't got no choice. Oh man, I can't do that." We might look at celebrities because they have capital, and we might be like, "Oh, but they have power. We don't have power." Now, pragmatically, this is just false based on the pretenses in which I laid, because there's a difference between opinion and principles. I'm laying down principles, I'm laying down a foundation. And from the foundation, we can make conclusions that are sound or unsound. And some conclusions we can make that are so pragmatic and so founded on principles that we just have to agree. So when one says, I have no power, they are literally saying a false statement. You have an electric charge within you, you automatically, as a requisite, have power. This is why I equated it to value in my Sunday breakfast. Because again, these are two requisites. To have power is to automatically have value. Now, to have value doesn't necessarily mean you have an electric charge, because if the body dies, one can do a study on it, and that holds value in the external realm. But that doesn't mean that that body in itself has power. The body has no power, it can't even move. Once something is dead on the surface, it is now rendered powerless. But if you are alive, uh, if you have the ability to do whatever it is, you watching this video now, you are expressing your power by perception, by viewing, by watching. And I think that's very important for subjects to know, because we relinquish our power to external forces all of the time. It's the subtle things that we say. When we say, I have no choice, that's analogous to saying you have no power in your circumstance. When one says, uh, I've heard people literally say this, I don't have no power. I have no power to do this. And it's like, well, you just said something. So that shows power in itself. And like, and now when we requisite these things, we don't devalue, because you might see somebody with millions of dollars. Like I said, celebrities. We love to say celebrities got power because we can see the tangible ways in which they can move things. Somebody can put $100 million towards philanthropy in Africa and help feed the children, which is great, which shows a different form of power, a more permeable form of power than the individual expressing, like me talking, which is cool. Power is levels to everything. So power comes at many levels. But when we requisite it by acknowledging that everyone has power, it doesn't diminish the capacity or the capabilities of the individuals. So some people want celebrities to save the world more than themselves. It's not because they solely just adhere, even though that's partially the reason, but it's an implicit underlying belief that they don't have the power to change shit. So this brings me back to that subatomic level of, no, If you have a charge, then you're able to do something. And I like how I just leave it at that. They get a little more particular in the definition, like particularly a certain form of doing, but minimalizing the term, the ability to do something. So you talk about revolution, you talk about changing your circumstance, you talk about uh even achieving something that may be beyond your belief at the moment. If you have the ability to do something, then that gives at least a little bit of evidence towards your case of you having the potential to change, the potential to be the rock in the water that sparks the revolution, the potential to move other objects. Because with this electric charge of power, you now have the ability to navigate and move in this external realm with control. Strip the negative and positive connotation from words, and you'll get more out of the word. A lot of people might hear control and think of a negative connotation, but you control your car, right? To get to work or to get to from point A to point B, that is controlling your car. Right now, this cup is at the whim of my will. I could throw this bitch out the window. I could throw it at somebody's head, even though I won't. You know what I'm saying? The righteous version of me won't dare throw it at a nigga's head. But it's just a display and showing you that I have the power to move objects in nature. So when you understand this, you get closer towards your highest version of yourself, because that electric charge, analogous to the energy, analogous to the soul, analogous to the spirit, that is responsible for your mind, your ability to perceive and think. Without that charge, the brain is for naught. A dead body is also a dead mind. And don't you think you can two step and groove or do anything without that electric charge? As soon as you lose that electric charge, that strips the ability to do. So that shows you the primary catalyst of your own existence, of that trinity in which you were talking about. A lot of people say mind over matter, which is cool. But to me, it's dismissive of that kinetic force in which you have, that is responsible for the thoughts in which shape the mind, and also responsible for the matter in which moves in this external realm. So it's not just mind over matter, but it's spirit over mind over matter, spirit or energy or charge over mind over matter, because that is the true power once you deduce and break down why you're able to do shit in this universe and this life. And when you have that understanding, you attach yourself to that quality, that electric force, that quality. Some call it the God quality, some call it the spirit, some just call it energy. But when you attach yourself to that force and that quality, you're no longer submitting to your body, and you're no longer submitting to your mind. See, the mind is suggestible. The mind is in charge of all signals. Yen wasabi, much love. What's good? Highest of vibes to you. I see you. I see you. I see the freedom fighters out here. I see those tapped into their subatomic spectrum. I know you're tapped into your charge. So much love, highest of vibes to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep speaking and fighting for the collective consciousness. People see it. I'm letting you know right now. I see it. But uh back to the realm of power, you having this charge and this force, and you knowing that, and you adhering to it, allows you to move beyond uh unconscious behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we fall victim to our body and our mind, and we let our unconscious navigate. But when we know we're that force behind the mind and the body, we're always consciously making decisions. We're taking our energy and applying it to everyday situations. And we're taking our energy to assess who we are, how my mind works, how my body works. Why does this even matter? Because now I'm taking my energy to reflect on my mind. So now, with my energy, I'm applying critical thought. With critical thought, it gives me better discernment. With better discernment, it allows me to make better decisions. Decisions are movements. So with my force, I am now able to move better because I am tapping into that agency that gives me discernment. I am tapping into that agency that already is principled in a certain way. All life forces want to exist. So survival is a requisite to that charge that you have. And all life forces uh, want to do something. Again, back to the essential definition. So to be even tapped into that charge gives you a certain level of life and will. This is why we call it, when we talk about this electric charge within us, we don't just call it power, we call it willpower. So when one has willpower and is tapped into that charge, they get a better sense of navigation around their life because again, they're giving themselves the power. When you give yourself the power in your life, you hold yourself accountable for everything in your life. You delegate responsibility to you and not to anything outside of you. Giving yourself the power is the most empowering thing anyone can ever do in the history of life. That's why it's called empowering. You feel me? Empowering. It comes from within. So I think this is just essential. It's essential to know. Again, the same with values and my Sunday breakfasts. If y'all don't know on the YouTube, my Sunday breakfasts, my Sunday breakfasts are on Instagram. And on Instagram is where I talked about value, and this is interwoven with power. But like I said, those things being requisite will give you a different viewpoint on your own life. You knowing that you have value, that already strips the possibility of devaluing you. Not completely, because you might have Instagram and social media and you scrolling, and you see a nigga on a private jet and Yoruba or some shit, or you see somebody living a certain life or conveying a certain life at that moment. Because let's keep it a being, once they get off the camera, it's a different life sometimes. So you might see these things and you might devalue yourself. But if you hold as a requisite that just because you exist, you hold value, like, and that's the thing, value don't need power. Value doesn't always have power, but power always has value. So like this has value, but it don't got power to like move when someone with an electric charge uses this, then it becomes powerful. You know what I'm saying? When I, with an electric charge, take this cup and put water in it, I am now using the power of this cup. But without my electric charge, it's just now something of value that could be used with power. And nature can power it. The wind could come push this motherfucker away. Human beings ain't the only ones with power. There's other forces out here in this universe. What's my YouTube? My YouTube is Dame's World. DAME apostrophe S World. WORLD. And I'm actually going live right there right now too. And yeah, no, join that, man. It's a community, community collective of thinkers where we trade perspective. I essentially do the same thing. I've just started to do this on Facebook because I'm not as active on Facebook as I am on Instagram and YouTube. But it's all about the same permeations. It's all about raising that vibration. And ironically, we talking about vibrations. You guys have to even just listen to the words we say. Like they are all analogous. Vibrations, frequencies, energy, all these things are forms of power. If you don't have an electric charge, you can't emit a vibration. You can't. No electric charge means no vibration emission. So while you may not think you have power, you could be sitting next to somebody in whatever charge you at, and they're feeling that. So to know you have this power is to have the power to manifest things in your outcome, because Let's say I didn't know that, and now I'm on a bus and I'm feeling a certain way, bad mood, but I don't know my power. I don't know I got the power to change that mood. I don't know that I got the power to emit a certain energy to other people. I'm just in a bad mood on the bus. And being in that bad mood, I'm now festering. So without me knowing, I'm unconsciously in a bad mood because I don't think I have the power to change. And I don't think that this means anything outside of me because I'm not a believer in that empowerment at the moment. My emissions are festering, and now other people are getting moody because I'm moody. My power, my unknown power, is causing the whole room to shift. And now the vibes is fictitious, and I don't even know it. So, with knowing that comes the ability to change your whole reality, even from a perceptive standpoint, before you get to the objects of matter. To know, just think about it. I'm in a bad mood. Well, damn, what put me in a bad mood? Or somebody cut me off before I went to work. So that thought gave me a negative charge, and now I'm feeling this way. So when one has awareness of this, okay, it was this that happened, and this thought produced this negative charge, and now I'm existing at this negative charge. However, I don't have to exist at this negative charge because I am the charge. Okay, well, let me find an idea or let me find a moment that can alleviate me from that charge. Let me forget about that accident. Forget about that dude cutting me off. Let me go listen to some affirmations, or let me talk to my homie, or let me go find some love, go outside, take a walk before I get on this bus. And now I'm shifting my charge. So now that moment does not even exist anymore. I removed my negative perception of that situation just by knowing my own power of changing my own perspective with my energy. I don't have to entertain that. Him that person cutting me off lasted for a split second. Now me choosing to harp on that moment and soak in my negative charge was my decision as a force and as an agent. So as a force and as an agent, I gotta ask myself my intentionality. Do I want to have this charge? Do I want to permeate this vibration? Because if I don't, I have the power to change that. And me, based on my intentionality, who I am, and my mission on this spectrum, I don't want to evoke those charges. So a nigga like me is gonna assess and evaluate my behaviors and my reactions. To know you have a force and a charge is to not be whim of your unconscious behaviors. Some people think they can't help it when they react. Oh man, that person cut me off. I had to cuss them out. Well, is that what you wanted in the first place? Was that your desired result when you woke up? Because if it wasn't, you have the power from the moment you wake up to dictate the outcome from the moment you go to bed to the moment you go to bed. So if you don't want to get angry, you don't have to. And that's internalizing the power without even reference to what you can manifest and what you can create in this external realm to show your power. It's showing you the power of self-control, self-maintenance, self-assessment, self-improvement. So even in knowing you have this power, you are already more fortified than the version of you that thought you were just a mind and a body. Like, and society, they ain't gonna do you no help. They not gonna help you get righteous. Cause we like the society tells you consciousness. Conscious. I'm conscious to be aware, which is cool. But they reduce it to the cognitive form of awareness. So when you're conscious, like I'm consciously looking outside and I see it's sunny and I see it's a couple of houses and a tree. This is my conscious, my mental cognition, my mental form of thought working. Western society likes to reduce your existence to your mental consciousness. So people say they're conscious in reference to their state of awareness cognitively, but you have a conscience. Conscience is not conscious. These are two different things. Your mind has a consciousness, but your conscience comes from that electric charge, that force, that shit that pumped the heart. You feel me? Once this conscience goes, that conscious also goes with it. So it shows you which one is more powerful and which one is more equipped. But in Western society, because they teach you, oh, well, consciousness is a high level of awareness. Everybody think they're conscious, but niggas is amoral. If you're conscience, that comes equipped with, like I said, it comes equipped with certain principles, equipped to be life affirming, not only to you, but to everything, because you're a part of a whole. And within that spectrum of being connected, you look at others how you look at yourself. So that gives you a level of morality. Not only do you want to survive, you want everything else around you to survive. So you now become life affirming just with the awareness that you guys are not just uh, independent conscious forms thinking, but you're a collective consciousness. And it's your conscience that's connected. You might not agree with a nigga's ideology. You might not adhere to someone's philosophy. You don't have to agree cognitively, but because you guys all share that conscience, there's a level of uh, there's a level of ethics. It's like a mathematic code that was embedded in all life forms. God. Dare I say God, because some niggas might think I'm saying religion when I just said God and I don't have nothing to do with religion. But something gave you that code to be connected and to be tapped in to where it's beyond the mode of cognition. Like you ever see some shit and you be like, damn, I don't know why I like no past references. You didn't learn this. You just don't think something is right. Like the first time I seen bullying. The first time I seen bullying, I felt bad. No, that ain't right. You know why I think I felt that way? Because again, my conscience wanting to survive and then having the empathy to associate other people with that same conscience saw that as an infliction of life and an infliction of will. It was a violation to my morality. I didn't need to learn to know why it was a bad thing. I already had that in me. I know inflicting on someone else's life is not conducive to provoking life, to permeating life. It's not life affirming, it's death affirming, like killing somebody would be. You don't gotta tell me that independent of the situation, murder is something that I would adhere to. It's not life affirming naturally. So like when people even get to, when people are now able to even draw those distinctions between consciousness and conscience, you know what I'm saying? It can show them the true power because without conscience, you can't have a consciousness. You can't, well, at least in this material realm. Because when you die and your conscience ventures off into the cosmos, I can't tell you what happens because energy doesn't get created or destroyed. Energy just exists. This is why I believe there ain't even no beginning. The book say in the beginning ain't no beginning. Shit was eternal. Shit was eternal. Ain't no beginning, ain't no end. This shit don't never stop. Shit don't never start. So when you transition from this existence, your conscience is still a conscience and it still will operate on those principles. It's just now you don't have that human consciousness to discern this reality however the fuck we discern it with our biases. But again, it's just requisited in you adhering to your force opposed to your mind. Like I said, the mind is tricky. You might see a signal, a couple of signals that convince you that something is a righteous thing to do, but it might conflict with how you feel, your morality, and not how you was taught to feel, how you innately feel. There's a difference between being programmed how to feel and actually tapping into your intuition, your intuitive gene that allows you to feel from the core. Yep, you know. If you tapped in, you know. If you know, you know. I've been seeing them shirts. You feel me? If you know, you know. I adhere because some things are beyond explanation. It's like I could go in circles as to talking about the power and the force and the charge and the conscience and its responsibility in your life or in life in itself and the grandness of it. But if you have not felt that personally, then a lot of this shit sound like I'm pitching woo. A lot of it sound like fluff. So this is a journey you guys will have to take yourselves to feel because power power is best expressed through feeling. You can feel the power. You ever see a motherfucker on Game of Thrones? I watched somebody was a Littlefinger, little slick motherfucker. I don't know if y'all know it. Littlefinger was trying to tell Cersei, the queen, that he got the drop. He got a secret on her, and he was holding power over her with the secret. He was like, "Yeah, like information is power," some shit like that. He tried to kick it like that, which in some situations you can see it is righteous. It'll move shit. She said she looked at her security guards like, "Get that nigga." Two big niggas hovered over him. Now his life on the line. She walked up to him. She said, "Power is power." And that to me was the coldest shit. But the point being, power is best when it's felt. So when you empower yourself, you're gonna get that feeling of, damn, I have control in this life. Damn, I don't like my job, but I could do something about it. Damn, I'm out of shape, but I could work out. So when you know you have that power, you become dangerous. You become very dangerous. And you become so dangerous that your lower self is scared of you. Because your lower self might not want to get up and work out. Your lower self might not want to get up and be better. Your lower self might want to fall victim to the unconscious routine that is picked up throughout the years and just want to partake in actions that are uh, pleasurable but not beneficial to that power. Because again, that power is principle. That power needs certain things. That power is without want. Your human existence with the body and the mind, that is with want. That's where the deviation can come from because the eternal energy is principled so much that it only seeks what it needs. It only seeks love. It only seeks light. It only seeks connection. It only seeks a matching vibration to feed off of. So being in tune with that will give you an installation of morality that, okay, damn, like maybe I need to start eating healthy. Because that charges me. This ham sandwich doesn't charge that force. It actually is a destructive force to that, a destructive mechanism to that force. It actually is death affirming. Me smoking cigarettes doesn't bode well for my positive charge. Again, you got to remember, once you lose the charge, you lose the power and you lose the life. So, knowing you are the power and you are the charge, it's best you give yourself what you need, motherfucker. Not just what you want, what you need. And that shit needs light, ironically. Me comparing power to the electricity and the light and the charges, bringing it all back to what the power needs. It needs light. Think about what you've been taught about morality and what you need. It's all requisited in power. Water, power. Food, power. The food with low power, don't fuck with. Pop Tart ain't got much power in it. Spinach got a lot of power. Turmeric got a lot of power. Ginger got a lot. So alkaline, certain things show an electric charge at a higher frequency than other things. Hot Cheetos, low electric charge. So you feed yourself that, your power ain't really getting much. Now you might have parasites that's benefiting. You might have pleasurable temptations. Your tongue and your you might get mental stimulation from the hot Cheetos, which might convince you that they're good for you, but they're not power. They're not life affirming or power enforcing. You feel me? They're not conducive to that charge in what you have. So knowing you are that charge can literally change the way you eat. It can change the way you curate your environment. You might not want to hear negativity because you know that your power being that it has power and it has the power of having a brain, having a body. You might know that you can use your power to remove yourself from this environment to never have that festered into your mind. Because just because the power is in charge, it don't mean you don't got a mind. As long as you got the power in this human existence, you're gonna have a mind to maintain and deal with. So it's man, it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game of mind, body, and soul. And I see a lot of people adhere to their minds. I see some people even adhere to their bodies. Just strictly, that's what I would call a pig. When somebody referring to a pig, they're referring to somebody who has a reprobate type of vibe, but unprincipled, like just living for pleasure only, without regard to their own power and their force. Because when you live for the external pleasures, and this can be analogous to the devil and being godly and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But just for the sake of this conversation, when you, I'm not going to go there for the sake of this conversation. When you regard solely to your pleasures and you look at those things, you'll see they're not life affirming. And it's like, oh shit, this is my challenge in life. My challenge, and this is my faith. God, spirit, energy, power. My faith is my power. So when you see people practicing their true faith, it's not religion, it's God. And that God is that particle within us. Collectively, we're a part of that particle. When you see people practicing that faith truly, you're going to see righteous habits, whether it be from God, whether it be from Star Wars, whether it be from a book that they read or a homie that they talked to or their mom and dad giving them tutelage or school. Don't matter as long as they got there. I tell niggas all the time, like, it don't matter how you get to the to the finish line as long as you get there. As long as you ain't unscrupulous and immoral, you ain't killing life and disintegrating life to get there, good. Just get there. It don't have to be through the Bible. You can watch Star Wars and obtain righteousness. But you see somebody like Yoda, you see somebody like Neo, and you see somebody like Morpheus in the Matrix. They paint these analogies in these movies all the time of righteous men. You'll see their nutrition is a certain way, their behaviors are a certain way. They practice patience. Why is patience a virtue? Because patience is a complete control of force. Motherfucker cut you off in the DMV. Maybe you got triggered to scream on the nigga. Maybe your energy was even rumbling inside. But you channeled in that force to take a deep breath. You brought yourself back to a homeostasis and a place where the frontal lobes can operate and reason. And now you being a life affirming agent, knowing your principles, you know you don't want to scream on a nigga. You know you don't want to have a dispute. You've empowered yourself to practice silence and patience in that moment to where now you're dictating the outcome without even knowing. Some people might regret it. I should have yelled at them. Is that your bottom line? Is your bottom line to cause divide and friction? Yes, they gave you a signal that could have prompted that. But if that's not your bottom line, then when you yell at the nigga, you lost. So that comes again when you wield the weapon of your own power, intentionality comes with it. So that comes with the journey. You're gonna have intent. And then the stronger your intent, the more consistent your intent, the more you not uh dilly dallying around, the more you not straddling the fence where you're living the dichotomy is every now and then I'm sinning and every now and then I'm living righteous. No, the deeper your intent, the more consistent your intent, the more you start moving in towards your own power and the less you're uh possessed by your own mind, your own body, and the external realm around you. And that, my friends, is the ultimate power. It's a crazy thing. Shout out to the YouTube, whoever up in here, whoever just hopped up in here. Much love to you. Yeah, and appreciate you for staying, man. It's a beautiful thing to know that we have power, especially in today's society where we're constantly being told we're helpless and hopeless and that we don't have the power and that we can't do things and change is uh almost improbable and doubtful. We gotta adjust that mind state. We have to adjust that mind state individually first. You can't have a collective idea if the individuals don't adhere to the idea. Individuals have to adhere to the idea for it to become a collective idea. So that means you, whoever you are, me, you, all of that means us. We have to realize that we do have the power to change the situation. We do have the power to change the dogma and the circumstance. Especially being a melanated male, I come from conditions where it's the most powerless. Because you have a system, you gotta think, you got a system that constantly tells you no, constantly devalues you, constantly places you in environments that lack resources and lack equitable means, constantly scarce in education. So when you look like me, these are the conditions that have been thrust upon you in America or even in the world. You know what I'm saying? Melanated people in the diaspora all face these social conditions. So yeah, it can leave one like, God damn, this shit ain't nothing I could do. You in a system that already operates a certain way, you might feel powerless. So at that moment, right there, when you feel that powerless feeling, that's the moment when you need to flip the charge. Because again, you proton, you electron, and you could be neutron. We want to be protons. We want that positive charge continually. So when we get beat to electron and we're in that hopeless, this is when we have to be conscious, aware. Oh shit, the system is they winning right now. They got me feeling like this. They got a collective of us feeling hopeless. The system is whooping our ass. If I could spit a sidebar, the system is whooping our ass if hopelessness is pervade. So at these moments, that's when it's critical to where you be like, oh, well, nope, nope. Let me get my ass up. Let me do something. It takes one brick to build a brick house. In the great words of Nipsey Hussle, one brick builds the brick wall. The brick wall don't just come up magically in a night. So yeah, why you okay? You might be feeling hopeless. You might have that downward charge. Life might be not looking the way in which you want it to be looking. That's the moment right there where you find that when you empower yourself. Because it's with knowing that power, it permits you to provoke the change. Because in those hopeless scenes, you're powerless and you need something to attach to give you leverage. And what better something than that spirit? What better something than that spirit? That's what I say, ain't nothing like the fighting spirit. This is why they say where there's a will, there's a way. You've seen humans do things that defy physics. That shows you the power of the charge in a human life. We out here defying physics. Motherfuckers is out here creating pyramids. Using their charge to do things that are inexplicable in nature. Oh, so at any moment, yeah, I might be back on rent, but I could pay that. I got the power to fix that. I might have debt, but I got the power to fix that. I might have enemies that I'm worried about. I got the power to fix that through communication and dialogue and hopefully not violence. So, like, when you know this about yourself, every situation becomes conquerable. Every situation becomes conquerable. And you're not waiting on the universe and you're not waiting on the environment to change. Because, like, those are the people who relinquish their power, who wait on the surface to change the outcome. And, oh man, I hope this president come and fix this. Because 2020 been, I bullshit y'all now. This is not fake news. Since about 2015, I bullshit y'all. That's how I know we in the matrix and we in a hamster wheel, and people are not in sync with their own power and the fact that their power is connected to all the power in the universe, and we're not riding in that collective wave. This is how I know it. Since 2015 all the way to 2022, I've watched everybody talk about how bad the year was. Oh, 2015 was bad. Couldn't get no worse. Next year, 2016. Oh man, please, I'm waiting for 2016 to end. Then 2017 come. Oh man, terrible year, man. 2018, please be better than 20. Then 2019 come. Oh man, is this year over? Nobody's having good years. Nobody's had 2020. Oh, 2020 was COVID, so y'all know that. I had a that was one of my best years ever. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it allowed me to sit in my own power and assess my own power relative to this environment, and knowing that I can't control everything in this environment, but I can control myself and my little force field around me. 2020 sat my ass down and humbled me to be able to recognize my own power and to realize that this game of manifestation is is each his own journey. You know what I'm saying? And I have the agency to manifest what I want within this environment, and I don't have to be victim to the environment around me. But you see, throughout my timeline from 2015 to 2022, most people in my timeline are telling you that it was a bad year. That's most people falling victim to the external realm and the situation of that quote unquote year. Because I experienced my years. I experienced my years. So it's not to say that because y'all had a bad year in 2020 and 2019 that I did. I know my power. I know my ability to shape time. My ability to I can make a month feel like a week if I want to. And I can make a week feel like a month. I can make 10 minutes feel like an hour. I can make an hour feel like 20 seconds. Cause I got the power. I got the agency to dictate how I experience time. I got the power. I got the agency to dictate what I want in my perceptive view. I don't have to listen to the media if all they're doing is professing death and destruction. Maybe you had a bad year because you've been watching the media all day. How the fuck everybody have a bad year in different occupations of space in the universe? Because you've all conformed to an ideology that told you the year was bad. You've all used your energy and gave it to the system. Here, hey, have my shit. Whether or not it's good or bad, it's on you. It's on the system. And I told you in the beginning of this video, the system ain't gonna do you no favors. If your year is gonna be dependent on the system, you're gonna get your ass whooped every year. And that's what's been happening from 20. That's when I noticed it. It's probably been happening forever. Motherfuckers been latched on to the system, complaining about the system, crying as if there can be no change, and have never looked inward to realize you're the change. You're the power and you're the change. You can't, if you have a bad year, do not blame the system. If you have a bad year, do not blame the system. This is not to relinquish or remove obstruction. Shit happens. Family dies, friends die, jobs get lost, wages get lost, uh, downward circumstances occur in life for everybody. It's not to omit that, but it is to say you still have a power to view it a certain way. You still have the power of outlook. This world ain't gonna beat me into not feeling good. I don't give a damn. And that's a requisite I hold. This world will not beat me into submission. In my worst moments, I'm gonna smile at these niggas. I promise you that. Because I'm gonna show them niggas my power to the end and show them my bottom line. Yeah, nigga, you don't control me. I control me. And the I that I'm talking about is that electric force, which is tapped into the essence of God. So I'm controlled by the cosmic order. When someone moves like that, people in this physical realm can't, like they don't. This is why I'm shadow banned. This is why I'm not propagated through these algorithms. This is why some people are just flat out scared of me, because I hold the truth And the truth is in that power within me. And when I flex that power based on the powers that be, they know that. Oh, with niggas like him, he permeates a certain light, he could wake motherfuckers up. He could bring people to recognize their own power, like I'm doing in this video. If people recognize their own power, there will be no need to be governed. A govern a governing city is like a babysitter or a parent. Who needs to be governed? Somebody who can't make decisions, like a child. Your parent makes decisions for the child, the government makes decisions for you. When you know the power of yourself and then you tap into that power and you give yourself discernment, so now you're operating on the principles of the universe, which is logic, math, science, and then you're connected to where you're on that love vibration and now you only permeating light and energy that is conducive to growth. Ain't no need for no fucking government. Ain't no need for no law. You ain't gonna need to you don't need a law enforcement when the collective of people are already righteous because they've tapped into their conscience. You got a millions of conscience people that we can police ourselves. That concept sounds fake in today's society because we live so ass backwards and we're so not in sync with our own power and our intuition and our godlike quality that we need to be police. Niggas is out here acting like fools. Some niggas, some niggas need to be controlled, or they gonna bust some shit. So that's why it seems foreign when I say it, but let's be real. We not at our highest potential. We don't even know our own power. So yeah, until we know our own power, we will forever be governed by entities that don't suggest our highest vibration. Don't act to empower. Why would they empower us? Because you got to think, even though we're not empowered, we are still of value and a source of power. So people who might be empowered themselves, uh, I wouldn't even say empowered. People who might, because they're empowered but they ain't tapped in consciously or tapped in from the conscience realm because when you're connected, the need to exploit or use someone as a means is not highly suggestive. You know what I'm saying? But those people will use your ass and use your power for work and labor and their exploits. So shit, you empower yourself or somebody else to use your power. Empower yourself or somebody else will use your power for you. 52 minutes Sunday breakfast, man. The boldest power. I'm gonna finish this joint and then I'm gonna continue about my day. Yen Wasabi, man. Much love to you again. Appreciate you for riding on this journey every Friday. Every morning I'm gonna do this rant, Facebook and YouTube, and then Sunday breakfast. Sunday breakfast to me is even better because it's a collective. Some people cam up and we discuss on the same realm. It's just different entities discussing it. Whereas this one is me rambling and free versing and talking my yet, which is still, hey, man, I still got the power to get a shit. Don't get it twisted. But it's always better when it's a collective of permeating figures. So now yeah, tap into that Sunday breakfast too for this same type of light. Again, the topic is power. I guess I'll leave by saying the facts, no opinions. You have power. And it's on you to use it in the manner in which you want to use it. But first, I will say this because power, no negative, positive charge, there's power. Watch how you use it. Watch how you use it. Because, like Star Wars, may the force be with you. Darth Vader had the force too. Darth Vader had power. Darth Vader chose to disintegrate niggas. So just because you have power doesn't mean you'll be tapped into that uh principled nature of connection and righteousness. And that's something that I've been conflicted with in assessing power because I be it that electric charge is that God quality, you would assume it comes with that moral principle, which I assume, but you don't see that capacity in everybody. Some people have the power to move without that principled notion to help and permeate life affirming behaviors. They out here destructing and destroying. But to me, that's God too. It's just not good. God is everything. So that's somebody exercising God, just not the God that I adhere to, not the part of God in which I adhere to. I adhere to the part that want to help a nigga. Some people don't. Like you see the communities, man. I hate to say the emo community. Much love to them, but you see the vibration of that community, and it's not always life affirming. They might have a shirt to say "fuck love," fuck everybody. Like so, you know, everybody has their beliefs, which lean them to one force or the other, or allow them to straddle the fence. So when you have the power, I would suggest you recognize it and you apply that to the force in which is righteous to you. Hopefully that aligns with mine, which is the life affirming love consciousness. And that way we could permeate a collective more utopian based than which it is today. You feel me? With that being said, man, it's your boy Dane, 855. Appreciate y'all for watching the video. Much love to everybody. Happy Friday. I hope your day goes exactly how you plan it. And if you tapped into your power and if you know your capacity and your abilities, you will ensure that this day goes exactly how you plan it. Because, like Baby Boy said, today I begin a new life. For I am the master of my abilities. Today shall be a great and beautiful day. That being said, it's your boy Dame, man. Much love, man. Highest vibes to everybody. You got the power. You got the power. You got the power. Peace. Righteous. Peace, YouTube. Niggas.